This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen, on the opening of training camp for 2022-2023. We find ourselves with one question to answer. The Oilers, they are clearly marking their territory on this question, saying the expectations, they're higher nowhere other than in their room. That is their statement. They are looking to achieve great things this season. Obviously, you cannot forget what they did last year, but there is still yet a much higher goal to achieve if you are the Edmonton Oilers this season. So, my friends, that is a discussion that brings to me the question, what realistically are my expectations for the Edmonton Oilers in 2022 2023? And this is a good question. You might ask me, well, okay, you've been vocal about, well, obviously it is kind of Stanley Cup or bust for the Oilers, and that's the attitude they've kind of taken, right? Is we are here to do one thing, we got to earn it the entire way, and then we got to win the dang thing. That seems to be the message in the room from the leadership core, whether it be Ken Holland, Jay Woodcroft, Darnell Nurse, Connor McDavid. That is what is going to be driven home into our skulls every single game this season. Now, my friends, when it comes to me personally, I've been very careful as to not say I think and I believe the Oilers will win the Stanley Cup, because quite simply, I don't want to put that burden on myself later in the year, right? Why put that burden in yourself later in the year? However, this is a year where everything that has so long haunted the Edmonton Oilers has come to a head. You've got prime Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You don't believe it's prime Connor and Leon? Well, Ken Holland said it himself. You can look up that interview. However, friends, the other portion, the defense, well, better than it was last year. Don't see anyone freaking out about how doomed we are that Brett Kulak's our second lefty. Unlike Duncan Keith last year. Keith did a fine job, don't kid yourself wrong. However, that's in and of itself, is you've got fixed up decor. Suddenly the praise is high for the defensive game of Tyson Barrie. You've got a forward group for the Edmonton Oilers that is completely unmatched by anything we have seen in the past 30 years. Quite honestly, I don't think anything in the past 30 years comes close to the caliber of forward group the Edmonton Oilers have. There's choices to be made, decisions to be made, discussions to be had. However, as it stands, for the Edmonton Oilers going into training camp, this is the most solid, depth-filled, talent-stacked forward group the Oilers have had since 1990. End quote. So, we all know what happened in 1990. Yes, we do. It's part of our history, it's part of our legacy, it's part of everything we live and breathe as Edmonton Oilers fans still to this day. So again, that covers the forward and defense. Well, the goaltending. Today, ranked by somebody. I saw a lot of articles on the Oilers today. You are kidding me if I know who it was. Ranked the Oilers goaltending tandem 16th out of 32. I guarantee you, if I remember correct, reading those rankings last year, the Oilers goaltending duo of Koskinen and Smith last year was ranked somewhere in the 30s. I would not be joking, I don't think, if I said that. However, it might have been the low 20s. Who knows? I'm not going to go look it up. Because I know, and I believe in my heart, that Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner are much better goaltenders combined as a tandem than Smith and Koskinen. So, you've got a star-studded, depth-stacked forward group. You've got a defense that looks like it's the best we've had in years. You've got a goaltending tandem that is middle of the pack. And what is it they said about the Oilers for the past several years? If they could just fix that defense and get half-decent goaltending, middle of the pack goaltending, average goaltending, It's all in the clear. The path is right there. Run up and touch that cup. That's what they got to do. Now, it takes 82 games and a minimum of 16 games in the playoffs to get there and get that done. And of course, it could be one of those things for the Oilers where it comes down to the wire. A Game 7 against the Los Angeles Kings in which Connor McDavid has a great game, Mike Smith steals one, whatever you want to say. Or a Game 5 against the Calgary Flames where one of, if not the most iconic photos of that season is captured. Or it simply comes down to the never say die, even though we're very well getting swept attitude that we saw against the Colorado Avalanche in round 3. To reach round 4, the Stanley Cup final, it takes a lot more than all that combined. It takes guts, determination, willpower, and a lot of, holy crap, how'd we get here? I can't even explain it. So, when you ask me, Tyson, what are your realistic expectations for the Edmonton Oilers this first day of training camp 2022-2023 NHL season? I will tell you this. Quite simply put, my real expectations for the Edmonton Oilers is, friends, despite everything, as with every season, we enter anew, nothing earned, nothing gained yet. But we know one thing about this season is different than in the past several we've endured. Is for the Oilers, they gave us memories unlike we've had since 2006. This is our first real chance to follow it up. Right? I guess we had one in 17-18 and we blew it. But this is our first real chance to follow up being on the doorstep and following it up with getting into the dance. Obviously, my realistic expectations for the Edmonton Oilers this season is to be there, playing games against an Eastern Conference team for the Stanley Cup. However, is that going to be the case? Who knows? What I do realistically expect wholeheartedly from the Edmonton Oilers this season, quite simply put, is one heck of a good ride this year. Let me tell you, last year was fun, and we're going to do it all over again this year. Buckle up, friends. I'm Tyson. This is Stall TV. The madness, the greatness, the journey starts now.